Gen.G. Now remember, as I had mentioned previously, Sentinels have ran into this team in the past. Both squads are very familiar with one another, but the one time that Gen.G did manage to win, it was on buying 13-12, and it was a nail-biter of a game. So, and I remember casting that final to Dan and thinking to myself, like, oh boy, like this is it. Gen.G are really, we're starting to see this same Gen.G that won the T1 Nursery Valorant Invitational, or the showdown, the first one that took place, where they actually debuted. This squad has a lot of positives here, but so many flashes are actually going to come out. And frags are going to be interchanged, though. GMD manages to get a pick there with some explosives. And now we'll get the paint shells back in case anyone wants to try and get onto the spike. Ain't going to happen, though, as both of those members for Sentinels are going to be located on the opposite side of U-Haul. Nice connection for GMD, who's been putting on a banger of a round. Sick will actually block off two players as they try to escape. You hate to see it, kids. One player for GMD, but that is going to be the round.
Yeah, and that's going to be advantage Gen.G then to kick off this match in Group A. So, of course, we started with Group A today, Alex, and that means we come back here to see who is going to be the first team to qualify into the playoffs tomorrow. So that's what's on the line for this particular matchup. And, I mean, you said it earlier, like, these are two teams that know each other very well. They've competed in several different tournaments, so they're not going to be surprised by any strategies for the most part. Yes, okay, you can go back to the drawing board and you can try and come up with something new and inventive, but let's be honest, we've got 4 maps in Valorant at the moment. Most strategies are quite similar. We know the default setups at this point. We know the pushes that can be there. We've not really seen any meta changes, of course, because Killjoy not being used in this tournament, so we're not going to see anything too drastically different. So it comes down a lot to kind of predicting and knowing your opposition and knowing their tendencies and being in the right place at the right time and hitting your shots, as Gen.G do to collect that second round and push themselves into the third, where now Sentinels can buy up and try and do something with this money.
Reflecting on Moses' question earlier, where he said, like, what does Gen.G have? We spoke about the identity of 100 Thieves. But for me, this Gen.G is, I feel like every player contributes. Like, that has always been the story of Gen.G. Everyone does their job and they do it well. Players like Win, for example, you can always rely on him with the op. Player One is another name that will pop up time and time again. You know, GMD's good for 2. Like, there's always just some positive to rip away from this Gen.G lineup now. And I think that, you know, if that's your team identity, Gaskin, that ain't half bad, right? Just being a great unit. Hell, that's what I would want.
Well, if you've got that confidence in everyone to perform in various different areas on the map, then you are going to find success as well. That's going to be a nice spray down from Zoms. Dapper comes in to clean things up on the Kale. And now, Dapper just trying to see what he can do with player 1 hiding in a corner with the Bulldog here. He's going to get the spot out, I would have thought, and should have the jump. They
don't know where he is. As soon as he gets his first kill. So he gets one. Now it's going to be a weakened player. That Cypher will be dangerously low, but Shazam went into the fire. And if he didn't, then Dapper would have had his back. He thought that the Molly could have actually helped him out there to try and delay, but it was not nearly enough. It wasn't completely onto the spike. A valiant effort, though, from Gen.G. Sentinels managed to pick up their...
I mean, I know, like, we're not going to be talking that much Killjoy in this tournament, right? Because Killjoy is not going to be used, but in situations like that, Killjoy is going to change the game because her ability to use the Nano Swarm is so strong right now, and it just works as almost 2 Molotovs. If you add that plus a Brimstone Molly, post-plant is going to be very difficult for retake. So I'm excited for the meta change. I won't get too much into it because we're not going to be seeing it this tournament, but I'm excited to see a new character being added, and we'll see what happens in the future. For now, we'll focus on this one, and Sentinels getting their first on the board, usually expected with that third round, and now for Gen.G, they're going to have to start answering back against some real money here.
I do like that aggressive wall to prevent Orb, take possession of that, and get a little bit closer to Rez. Also effectively blocking off sewers away from the Cypher. Now, eventually, Shazam and Sinatra are going to be running into, count them, 3 players from Gen.G on B long. It's going to boil down to this flash that Sinatra is going to throw. And once they get the whiff that someone's there, the flash is going to come out. They're going to swing and go for the kills. There they go now, but they waited for it. They waited for it, and Garden's going to be wide open. Dapper now has to receive 4 members of Gen.G, as one's going to be inside of the hookah. Doesn't have the angle on him, though. But they got what they wanted, 2 kills, and they just bailed out of that situation. And why? Because Mikhail was on the other side of the map, cleared A site, and told them, we are ready, we're good, let's get this spike down and win this round.
Spike goes down, and the retake is not going to be a comfortable one, and I imagine we might even see a save here, especially with how far Sick has pushed across towards B site. Dapper might have a sniff at it. If he can get 1 frag here from Showers, then potentially he might go for it, but I would imagine that they're just going to try and save these rifles so they can move on into the next round with at least somewhat of a comfortable buy. But a decent push there from Gen.G, and I like that. I like the ability to kind of split sites and have that one player do a real job, as GMD is going to be getting aggressive towards bathrooms. And this is not going to necessarily be a comfortable save for Dapper, as he will fall. And Sick maybe doing the right idea, just getting out of dodge and ensuring that he can save this up.
I'll be going to Shazam in the next round. So they don't have to spend money on that, but executed gorgeously on B-Long. They had an inclination that Sinatra, or that really when the Phoenix is there and you're wrapping around a corner, options are going to be rather limited for how that flash comes out. So they held angle and waited for that push to come through. And with 3 rifles looking at 2, they just read that one very well. And Gen.G show us why they are a force to be reckoned with in this competition. Do not sleep on this team at all. Now Shazam in mid again. This Raze has actually thrown the boom bot. Thankfully, his teammate was there to clear that so that he wouldn't have to worry about it. There goes that trust that Sentinels have for one another. Coming into full play there. So I think they're going to feel pretty good to be able to get onto the site here with ease. Walls down over at short, but some kills are going to be exchanged, though. Sick does manage to get 1 against player 1 as they come out. But Sick will not be long for this world. Hunter's Fury from downtown. That's going to connect onto win. GMD, though, is putting on a show outside. Zoms is going to end that one before it can get any worse. 2v2. As Zom's going to be located right near that spike, waiting for the orbital strike to come through if he decides to pop. 1 kill. Mikhail gets the kill. Even though Zoms had the read on him, he only had that Spectre. So Spectre versus Phantom, at that range, you have to go with the Phantom. 4-1 for Gen.G.
The Mikhail does seem to excel on this map in particular. I mean, you spoke of when these two faced off against each other in the PAX Arena Invitational. On Bind, actually, Gen.G did come out on top. They were able to win that one 13-9. I think you might have mentioned it in the pre-show. Mikhail had 22 frags in that one as the Cypher, and I feel like if you can have a Cypher who frags out well, you're going to be putting yourself in a great situation, because they often are solo pushing sites or holding behind, or solo holding sites if on the defensive side. So it means if that one player is having individual success, they're often taking down 1, maybe even 2 players before they die. And that gives you the player advantage, which is always going to be such a massive thing in this 5v5 game mode that we see in Valorant.
And even how Mikhail's been playing created a new push for Sentinels. They invested 3 players to take showers, and thus kind of cleared a lot of that site. Now, if they do go for the port play, which will be kind of nutty, if they manage to pull that one off, I would be quite concerned, because Dapper should be prepared for that. Here comes GMD, though. Oh, but the orbital strikes out. Doesn't get a kill with it. Sinatra instead does manage to find GMD. But it's going to be carnage over at the B site. Kills being exchanged all over the place. Mikhail will be located underneath that metal. Not long, though. Dapper connects. Dapper with 2. And it's Dapper yet again being the clutch master for Sentinels from the defensive side.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates invested into that round, and it's because it was an important round for Sentinels. Their money wouldn't have been great if they hadn't been able to pick up that victory, and allowing Gen.G to have a 4-round advantage would really not have been healthy for them. When we look at their previous game against each other on Bind at PAX Invitational, I mean, Gen.G were able to string together 4 in a row was the most they were ever able to string together when they won on their attacking side. So I think Sentinels need to make sure they keep Gen.G at arm's length and not allow them to gain any momentum, because once money is on the side of Gen.G, they do seem to perform very well. And Sentinels need to have this operator in the hands of Shazam, I feel, because a lot of these early picks are going to prove to be vital. He is going to opt to look towards the exit of bathrooms here. And providing he doesn't have to move soon, he might be able to catch Mikhail on the lurk. Did hear a couple of footsteps, maybe.
Yeah, Shazam will nail that shot 9 times out of 10, but a nade comes through, forcing both players to have to go back. Now they're just going to bail out and go to the B site. These quick TP plays on Bind, it's the trademark of the map. Sinatra thought the curveball may have worked out, but I think just some rifles, that'll work. Quinn's going to be the last player staying back inside of the teleporter room, thinking maybe players try and challenge and go through the port. Doesn't happen, though. He'll be stuck in here saving his gun.
I mean, send some utility through the teleporter and go the other side. It doesn't matter now because Quinn's going to move out, but walks straight into the hot hands. And is now just going to have to try and stay alive because they are coming hunting for him. They do not want him to keep this weapon whatsoever, and Dapper gets the spray through the wall for the 3k. And Sentinels now starting to put rounds on the board and resetting the money of Gen.G. I feel like we're in for a game, and I feel like we're in for a series here, Golden Boy. I don't think this is going to be the 2-0 sweeps that we've seen so far today. These are two teams that very much have the potential to go at each other's throats, even though I still firmly believe Sentinels are the better side. I think on this map in particular, Gen.G have a real chance to shake things up.
Indeed they do. What's on the line? Qualifying for the playoffs tomorrow. So much cash, the prestige. Being in the playoffs of an Ignition Series event is a big deal. The premiere for North American Valorant and all of Valorant Esports as it stands. Save round for Gen.G presently. And they know exactly where that op is, so they'll need to block vision. Smoke comes down. He'll hold this on. So he was going to hold on to that angle, and if he waited just a second longer, he might have been able to get the shot, though. Now Gen.G is going to try and make it scrappy down low. Neural theft is going to be used. Mikhail's going to manage to pick up 2 kills. And look at GMD. GMD's still alive. That's a problem for Sentinels to have to deal with. Now the spike is out, and Sick's going to go up for this wall over the U-Haul play, but it doesn't work because the wall's going to break. It doesn't have a stable surface, and thus he cannot get on top of that truck. One player inside of Lamps, the other one bailed out. And why did that player bail out? It's a Brimstone. Molly's been played. They're right next to each other. A thrifty round win for Gen.G could be critical for them. Sick is just doing his due diligence, looking around all the different angles. Where could they possibly be? But he did not go further into Marketplace. And that's the reason why he was able to clear that player one. So they'll get this gun and they will get out of dodge. And Sick will be a little frustrated with that one. It was a 50-50, went the opposite direction. You can't blame him for that. The showers is a common hold, especially for the exit too. And Gen.G will get the thrifty win.
Yeah, around the Gen.G shouldn't have really picked up, but just the explosive way they pushed onto the A site. And Mikhail was the one who got the 2 frags to begin with. And then we saw GMD doing some real work with the Spectre.
And that last minute neural theft too. That was a just a great play because they got the information, they knew where they were going to be, so they were at the very least respecting of the fact that 2 players were located on the defender side. It just Mikhail getting that off at the last second was just beautiful.
Now imagine what he can do with a Phantom in hand. I mean, he has been opting to go towards bathrooms quite a lot, but this time he's got some support, almost trying to bait out a peek there from the opposition, but no one is going to be playing ball in showers. It means that control can be had by Gen.G, and the benefit of getting control with showers and having a Brimstone there is now you can actually utilize these smokes, and you can smoke off different areas of A site that you can't do from A short. So actually, bathroom control is quite important, but at the moment we've just got a little bit of a utility standoff, GB, where no one wants to throw out anything too early.
So a drone and a wall were played on the opposite side. Sick decided to utilize his wall. Now, Window did have a mark on the Zoms. That is going to sting. Sick waited, though, for a potential push there. And Sick playing inside of the orbital strike. Even though he died, he still managed to be able to get a kill. Watch out for Sinatra, though. Gen.G aware that there will be a Phoenix inside of lamps, hearing the heals go off too, or the firewall being played. In case Dapper pushes, Huynh could possibly get the shot off. Oh, they didn't expect him. Oh, they didn't expect him from the top of the truck. No time to really work with, though. He's going to have to get right inside of Showers, and he gets stopped by the trap wire, so he's going to be stuck. They could just play the time here, and the round goes to Sentinels because of that very clever trap wire from Dapper. Oh, but still gets the kill.
Still gets the kill, but that trap was just everything. And I mean, Huynh did really well right at the start to actually get not only just an opening frag, but also he did some real damage with Hunter's Fury. But defensively, Sentinels did pretty well there. Gen.G almost made the round, but then this trap, like, he wanted to shoot the trap, but at the same time, he was worried he was going to get shot from heaven, so he was in two minds, and in the end, he missed a shot on the trap, and he just got hit by the stun, and there was no chance of him getting the spike and being able to get back onto site. But 5-4, and Sentinels now holding well. Gen.G getting closer and closer every time, and that's a great opener from Gen.G. Sinatra made that one a little bit too easy for him.
Gen.G is like, you want to talk about no stars on this team? Hold my beer. Yeah, that was the second hold my beer reference for the broadcast today. So with Effie's down and a Hunter's Fury available for the defense, maybe if he goes for this res, the Hunter's Fury will be used. Yep, there it is. The Hunter's Fury is out. He had this thing lined up, but unfortunately doesn't get a single pick with it. But the idea was there. Had it been a little bit down and to the right, actually would have been able to get that kill against the res player.
Yeah, usually it's more comfortable with the auto strike to just wait for that res, and then it's a guaranteed kill if timed correctly. Do you see a showstopper available for Gen.G if they want to use it here, though? Only 33 seconds, so they need to make a move soon. It is going to be the A site, 2 already in bathrooms. The other 3 are going to be in short. Here comes that showstopper, and it is going to be just a slow walk out into short. He waits, and then he pushes through. Does he connect with anything? I don't know. Dapper's got the early. Sick gets one of his own. Showstopper doesn't connect. He walks straight into 6 bullets. But here comes Huynh with the...
You got to get this spike down right now. Huynh again! Nailing Shazam. Zombs alone. No orbital strike. 2 smokes. They know exactly where he is going to be located. The options are extremely limited, and Huynh with that op is just surgical, putting it everywhere he wants it to go. It doesn't matter whether it could be the tightest of gaps. He manages to get a shot through every single time. The man's a beast with that weapon.
He is a beast, and every team needs a confident opper. Otherwise, you aren't going to have as much success, especially on a map like Bind, where op holds can be so strong. But of course, op pushes can be even stronger if you are a player who knows where to peek, know where the tendencies of your opposition are and where they're going to be sitting, so you can get those kind of pre-fire shots and walk around those corners and instantly hit them. And that's something we've seen very successful from Huynh here. And now it's 6-4. Gen.G may be looking to attack this A site yet again, having the lurking Cypher towards B just to see if anyone was getting a little bit frisky down B long. But it is going to be a somewhat of a stack at B, 3 members over on the side of Sentinels, and they're going to be able to walk quite comfortably onto A at the moment, but you just have to clear out lamps, and Huynh gets the opener again onto C.
Another clean shot with that op. Huynh is on fire in this bind game, exactly what the doctor ordered. Gen.G. Now look at GMD inside, so they can't even possibly get possession of this here. Oh my goodness, Huynh, he just keeps going. The man doesn't stop. He's a psychopath. That's 4. Oh boy, Gen.G Gaskin are starting to heat up.
Yeah, I mean, that was a round that Sentinels knew they weren't really going to be able to do anything with a very severe lack of money, but when Huynh is able to push that confidently onto site with the op, I mean, there's just no sort of chance of Sentinels actually picking anything up. 4K with it. And if he keeps firing like this, I'm pretty terrified for Sentinels pushing into his op on their attacking side. Of course, they need to get the monetary value, though, on this in the second half. They need to have that economy so that Huynh can continue to perform with the op in the way he has attacking side.
With Huynh going on fire like this, pistol round, rifle round, it doesn't matter. He seems to be just hitting every single shot. Confidence through the roof. Huynh just check the corner, so Shazam has to get out of there, though. But the Hunter's Fury connects. I think it does a little bit of damage there, but not enough to actually hurt Shazam. The bullets from Effie's Phantom will actually handle that, though, instead. GMD, a kill on Hookah, and only one player left alive is Sick, who does manage to take out Huynh, so they will stop the bleeding. Maybe being able to pull off a 7-5 could be quite nice. Neural Theft will give him some intel, too.
And really now, it's going to be a tough retake. Dapper has to do a lot with this rifle just to help out. Does get the first onto Effie's. That's a really good start. Now he's got the camera to try and get info. But here comes Split One from the side. Decent stuff. But can he stop the defuse? That's the real question. Yes, he can. Dapper has to get off it to try and face 8-4 then to Gen.G. And while they've done 2 rounds better than they did in the PAX Invitational, it was 6-6 after the first half when they faced each other on Bind. And Gen.G, they went on to win that game after 6-6, so now we'll see how they do when defending, whether we'll see Sentinels offer up something a little bit different than we've seen previous.
I'm a bit fearful for how Gen.G will play defense on B, because when Sentinels decide to go and attack this site with the, when we get into the rifle rounds and stuff, but even then, these 2 pistol rounds or the first pistol round, which could lead into the second, this is going to be quite important. Also, like what FPC is doing too, is going to keep the classic and the shorty in action too.
I was going to say, it's something I don't see players do enough in matchmaking. You get a free buy on that classic, so buy up a shorty, buy a classic, make sure you look at it so it doesn't despawn, and then you've got a backup if you get that first pick with the shorty. Because how many times have you seen players with a shorty get a kill and then have to reload and not being able to get the second? If you can drop back, pick up that classic, you've got more of a chance of doubling those frags. The pistol round now, very important, especially for Sentinels, I feel, here to get their way back into this game.
Great match to start. So Dapper on short, waited for that boombot to come through. Mikhail's going to run into one here, and I think GMD is exposed himself, but they don't know that he's going to be there. Mikhail again, just so great for this team. And they didn't clear it again, actually. So while he was going in, Sick was going in for the plant, Sinatra did not get inside the lamp. So the spike unplanted is going to be down even with the wall there. Zoms is cut off. And a big pistol round for Gen.G that is looking very much like a win, Gaskin.
Yeah, unless Zoms just does something absolutely nutso here, but not even a Cinderella story to be talked about. 9-4 now, Gen.G. Likelihood going 10-4 unless we see Sentinels with a crazy eco, but second round ecos are very difficult unless you force up. And I guess then it's not really an eco, that's a force. But maybe Sentinels need something to gain a little bit of momentum here, otherwise this game might slowly start to slip through their fingers. A decent hold by Gen.G. I mean, 2 players in lamps makes it very difficult to break onto that ace, but it was Mikhail getting that first to really elevate the team and put them on that pedestal to say, okay, you can actually do something with this round because I've got the opening frag. I've been able to kill their entry fragger. And then with one player just planting, I mean, it was a free kill at that point.
I'm more or less just surprised that no one really handled GMD when he was going to go and push into lamps or push out of lamps. That was the more startling part of all of that and that whole exchange. Now,
this round
Sentinels are going to back up. Yeah, it was always going to be difficult for Sentinels because they have no armor. They're rolling with classics. I think one player had a ghost, and everyone has full armor. And on top of that, they're going to have these Spectres with this Stim Beacon too. It's like running into a mini Odin. There's not a lot of ammo.
It's just always a sad round when you push into hookah. No one's there close, so you can't steal a weapon. It means you have to either back up, and you've already given so much audio cues, you've already given up the map as well, or you just push out onto site and leave yourself so vulnerable jumping out of hookah. So a shame, really. But Sentinels still just biding their time. They have managed to reevaluate the situation. Instead have now gone long, but by this time we see so many members of Gen.G there and waiting, and it's just clean up crew at this point. Zoms might be able to get a consolation kill but it's not going to be anything
No
as Gen.G go 10-4.
No consolation for you. Out of the gate, that would have been one of the best thrifty eco rounds like ever. They won that. So, and the way that it started, the push through the hookah, losing, I think, Sinatra instantly as soon as he came out. So now, Sentinels are going to be in a bit of a pickle, but they will have some guns to work with. Let's see how they're going to get in the face of Gen.G. Two players located. I like this and very aggressive play from Huynh to see he can get eyes on anyone going mid and then backing away, or sorry, B long, and then backing away to Garden quickly, just in time for the smoke to drop. Good coordination from Gen.G. That's what this team has, right? Like, just that coordination is so good. It was the thing that we were praising Sentinels for, and deservedly so. But Gen.G have been doing that for quite some time.
But I spoke about it earlier, like Gen.G just don't have that fear. I mean, that was not the play of a feared man. Like, he was not scared to push down long there. He was the only player with a rifle, so that's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. If you fall there, the rest of the team only have SMGs, and they're going to struggle. But he said, no, I'm confident in my shot. I'm going to push long, and I'm going to try and get this info. But now we're going to see Sentinels burst onto the A side.
Okay, so job well done. Shazam, good for 2. Taking out those players by lamps is certainly going to hurt Gen.G on this retake. The spike down immediately. It's been cleared. They know exactly where they need to be. Sinatra's playing this angle. They have a round to give up here, Gen.G, but I'm sure they would rather not.
I mean, they'll just save the rifle. That's the one thing they're going to do at this point. The boys with the SMGs are maybe going to try and do something, try and take a couple of exit frags and deal a little bit of damage to Sentinels. But if Sentinels are wise, they'll probably all exit together to ensure that these exit frags are not going to be comfortable for Gen.G. Whereas you can see all the way over at B site, that rifle that was brought up, the only rifle from Gen.G is going to be saved, which means next round, GB, they're all going to have rifles. We're going to have a full buy for Gen.G, which is something that teams haven't been able to achieve quite a lot in Valorant, is going into this 4th round of the half, being able to full buy after buying a rifle or 2. So good economy management from Gen.G here, so they can now kind of combat this round from Sentinels. And the real question, I guess, is going to be, do you keep the Spectres? Because you've been able to save enough money where you can all buy rifles, but maybe FaZe is going to opt to play a little bit of an aggressive angle, considering they did keep a Spectre or 2.
Actually, wouldn't be the worst idea either, especially with the wall/Spectre play. You can get close, you can move around a lot faster, and if you're trying to juggle around that wall, being able to move and shoot with the Spectre would be better than utilizing a Phantom there. So, seems like that is exactly what is going to happen here.
I have to say that orb was picked up a little bit too easily for Sentinels. Considering how aggressive Sentinels were on their defensive side to pick up these orbs, I thought like Gen.G might try and match that. Because these orbs and these ultimates have proved to be so vital in these closely contested rounds.
Yeah.
No ultimates on the board just yet though, so nothing to worry about, and this is going to be a very much default from the side of Sentinels, just watching all the areas, checking to see if Gen.G are going to be getting aggressive, but no aggression. I guess the most aggressive point is in hookah, where 2 players currently reside for Gen.G, and they're both going to be spotted out by Shazam here. Well, actually, he got destroyed before it turned around. He'll certainly have the indication 1 is there, though. And with only 40 seconds left, Sentinels are going to need to make a decision now as to where they want to push, and looks like it's going to be the A side, GB.
Certainly do appreciate how they're playing around in this hookah area to just prevent them any kind of movement opportunities. But as this round continues to take longer and longer to come to a conclusion, I have to kind of favor the way the Sentinels, even though they have that man down, they will have the advantage of the spike. Huynh is going to be dangerously low as well. And he's also watching that flank, which actually could end up paying out. Now, even though he had 11 HP, the fact that he still got value there, that is big. Or sorry, 41 HP, but even then, he still is going to get value for that. And he gets a 3rd as well. But they also get the spike diffused. Gaskin, I really felt like Sentinels had a good read on that, but they don't eliminate Win by showers, and he ends up just owning that side and giving his teammates an opportunity to be able to push it from lamps and get control. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sentinels had no shower control whatsoever. They, of course, walled themselves up to get the default plant, and then lamps was a little bit iffy as well, because Gen.G were able to push 2 through there. And the fact that Sentinels didn't have showers just meant they were all kind of caught up and bunched in that short area. And it was too easy, really, for Gen.G to surround them. And just the one flanking player wasn't enough, and he was too
41
late from
HP,
bathrooms.
like crazy, man. He's so low on health, but yet still can be equally as effective.
Like I said, they're pretty fearless, this Gen.G roster. And now, 11-5 advantage. Maybe they're going to be striking fear into the eyes of Sentinels here and saying, look, we're here for a series and we want to get some revenge as to what happened in previous tournaments. Sinatra's going to get really aggressive here, tries to get the spray down through the box with his ultimate, but will be sent back. He has done a considerable amount of damage to these players in Hookah, but GMD does not give a damn.
GMD, he was about to get roasted there by the hot hands and held the angle down. Now Hookah's going to be lost. 2 players playing the defensive angle here. Watch out, though, for Hwin, who is watching across. Only 1 guy remains, and that's Zoms. So this whole plan, even though they got Hookah, it falls apart. They double peak together at the perfect time. And now Gen.G is going to be at game point here on Bind.
And so it was a 13-9 victory the last time they played each other. On course for a potential 13-5. I mean, that is a considerable improvement. When we were speaking in the pregame, we were saying how Sentinels have kind of gone from strength to strength recently in tournaments. Well, it seems like Gen.G have also improved, especially on Bind. But maybe this is a map we kind of expected them to win based on the statistics. Realistically, we're going to have to see them win one of their weaker maps if they are going to be able to beat Sentinels in this series.
Map 2 will be split, and we've seen what Sentinels can do on split before against Lemonade Stand. They also are sitting at a 100% win rate according to the Spike GG there. But more on that in a little bit. Hwin is going to have to play this angle and around the corner, and just even then, he's pinned by the L box. He doesn't have many options, and he makes something work. Orbital strike goes down. GMD gets another headshot onto Sinatra, and things are looking pretty decent now as GMD goes over the corner. This showstopper can end Dapper, but it ends up not doing so. Only 1 player left alive. It's Thick inside of the cubby. He's got barely any HP remaining, and Gen.G will get game number 1. Their pick on Bind.
A very comfortable victory, really, and they are so good on Bind. I love what they had to offer,
Disgusting.
both on offense and defense.